And I do like that you guys have incorporated your, like you said, people that you hang out with all the time have come into the show, because it just makes it seem like more authentic, whether it's in a relationship or just friends. Just from seeing photos of you guys from filming or when you guys were on the island and all these things, you're like, oh, that girl, like I've seen her in a bunch of Juliette's Instagrams and I've seen her in a bunch of like Kelsey's Instagrams, and now everybody seems to be coming together in one group and filming and whatnot. So how has that been? Because I just feel like you guys have a lot more female energy than you have had in the past.
I mean, the boys are they're not cutting it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. I mean, it was like always kind of like a female-based show, but the guys are just like, they're either like screaming and there's testosterone flying everywhere, or they're not doing shit. Like there's no in between. Or like us girls, we're like so catty and petty with each other and like behind your back stuff. And like, that's just how females are kind of. But, filming in like huge groups like that, it's fun for like a day, and then it gets so difficult and like you just need your space. Like kind of like I said with the island, we were with everyone all the time. Yeah. And it causes a lot of issues, and just like, especially when tensions are high, that actually like is a factor in why people lash out and freak out and say things that they don't necessarily want to say. I mean, mix that with a little bit of alcohol and you've got yourself a reality show. So.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. And like, do you wake up the next morning, right? Because you got the alcohol involved, you get into a screaming match with somebody in the cast. Do you wake up the next morning and you're like, fuck, why did I do that? Do you try and go like tell the producers, please don't air that? Or are you kind of just rolling with it?
No. They're like waiting outside my door when I wake up. They're like, all right, what are we going to do now? I'm like, oh shit, that wasn't a dream. Yeah. It's what what I like to do in life in general. And like, I think this works when it comes to reality shows is like, I don't like to push back on things or like lie or pretend that, I'm not wrong. Like if I know that I'm wrong in a situation, like I need to fess up and get it out of the way, because that's like the best way to move past a situation, especially when there's cameras on you and you made a huge mistake or you said something wrong. If you're going to sit there and deny it, like Alex was always cheating on me. He was always denying it. If he had just admitted to cheating on me, then we could have like moved forward with the show and everything. They would have stopped filming that. But the fact that he kept like saying he didn't, and he was caught in like this huge spider web. That's what, with situations like screaming and all that, I like to just say I'm sorry, or if I'm not sorry and it was their fault, confront them and tell them to say sorry to me. So you have to work through this stuff, like especially with a big group of people.
Yeah. Right. When you face something head on, it usually blows over way faster. Whereas you said when Alex lies, drags out for 3 seasons long because you're never getting the truth out of it. And then it's a constant fight. Where do you stand now with some of the cast members? Like, who are you closest to and who are you not really talking to right now?
So I'm closest with Amanda and Chloe and Camilla. I never talked to Garrett. He actually unfollowed me on Instagram because
damn.
Well, he has a new girlfriend too, right? Or not new, but like she's
and they're like it's like very like they're nice people, but they're like very high school. Like it's all, like it's his first girlfriend ever, and like he's never known what like love feels like. That's how it like they're just like all over each other. And
it kind of comes across that way on social media too, from like some of their pictures. I'm like, okay,
exactly how it is. I'm like, they're just like over in a corner, like me, whispering each other's ear. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, who am I friends with? So Chloe and Amanda, I'm like not on great terms with Madison, and definitely not Kelsey. So.
Yeah, I feel like I got that vibe from social media. Kelsey and Madison are super close, and then who you're close with.
Yeah, it's kind of separated. And then there's some people that are in the middle that don't want to pick sides, but like, if we were naturally closer with this person before, it's like going to stay that way. Like I actually see Camilla all the time and Amanda and Chloe. So, that's just the way it is.
And so it really seems like Chloe has changed a lot of things in her life. We know that she stopped filming with you guys, and that was like her own choice for her own mental health and whatnot. What did you guys all think about that? Because she has always been such a key part of the show, whether it's like helping end fights or start fights. Like she was always kind of in the middle. So I feel like when her leaving the show is definitely kind of missing a big chunk.
I think Chloe went through a really big life change in the last like year and a half now. And she's been trying to figure out who she is. And just one of her like major characteristics is being like very like passionate about something in the moment. Like she has tunnel vision about this one thing. So like she goes through phases, and at the time she was really passionate about the fact that she just didn't think the show was right for her. And like, she didn't want to do it. And so I was like, Chloe, like, let's think this through before we make like a serious set in stone decision. And she just kind of like gets her mind stuck in things, but she's kind of like calmed down now. And I'm really proud of her. She's lost a ton of weight. She's healthy. She feels good. You can just kind of tell like she's glowing from the inside out, and she's just very content with who she is and who she wants to be. And like, she doesn't drink much anymore. She's doing what we all should do, honestly. So right now I'm really proud of her, but we'll see. I hope she sticks with this is kind of like my point.
Right. I was going to ask, like, do you think that she'll ever come back?
And I don't want it to come across that like I don't support her. Like, I totally support her. I just have known her for like 7-8 years, and I know how she is. She goes through these phases essentially. But I think this one is the longest I've seen, and I hope that she sticks to this.
Yeah, and especially being on this show for like how long you guys have been doing it and how young you guys started. You may not be like growing up in your teens on the show, but early 20s is still very essential in growing up. So I feel like realizing, okay, I got to get my head straight. This isn't who I am is really big of her to even notice. So I mean, I'm with you. I hope that she sticks with it. Yeah,
because selfishly, I would love to see the evolvement of her on TV, right? Because she's had this reputation on the show and like you said, she is in such a better place now that people, want to see that. That's sometimes what makes like a good redemption arc. Like, it's what people love reality TV.
You really do see it. That's why I love the show, because like everything that we are kind of discussing right now, like with Chloe's transformation, you really see it. And like, you see when she has her fallbacks and her setbacks and like moments, she is the old Chloe, if you will, and how she works through it and how it makes her feel and how she wants to go on, like moving forward and all of that. And same with like our relationships and my friendship with Kelsey. Like, you see all like the little moments that meet at like this one, the end of the season. And it's like where we are now. So it's really cool.